Okay, let's talk about salary, right? So now we're going to talk about negotiating salary in a moment. But first, I just want to say they may ask you at several stages, okay, early interviews, later, after an offer, they might say, what are your salary expectations?
Mm-hmm.
That's when people freeze.
Yeah.
So there's some also new things happening in California, in the United States. So one thing I want you to understand is at the early stages, the first interview before you end up talking with the hiring manager, you don't even have to tell them your expectations.
Oh.
They are actually supposed to tell you the range and be transparent. And that's a new movement in the United States, which is, it's different than, this has changed over the years. The interviewer is trained to try to get what you're looking for. He or she is trained, but at the early stages, they are absolutely not supposed to require it. And if you ask them, any good company with good HR will have to give you a range. Would you all like to know why? It's actually very interesting.
Yeah.
There is a great deal of discrimination in the United States with salary against racial minorities and women and certain groups. So the decision now is make the salary transparent so we know, and everyone should get the same range. Interesting. So at an early interview, if someone says it's like your first, phone screen, and they say to you, what are your salary expectations? Look, you're welcome to tell them. You're not going to get into any trouble. You did your research and you're
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm looking for 80K. Fine. Notice my language. I'm looking for. That's polite. Not I want, I need. I'm looking for. I'm looking for. I'm aiming for. That's the polite way to say it. Or if you want, you are allowed to say, so at this stage, I am just learning, a bit about the role. I don't have a number yet. Would you mind sharing the range for this position? You're
Oh.
100% allowed to do this now. Okay. So it's your choice. You can just say on the first interview, yes, I'm looking for 80K. I'm hoping for 90K. Or you don't have to tell them. Now look at the language here. It says, would you mind sharing? And I'm sure many of you are aware of that. Would you mind? It's just that polite. Would you
Mm-hmm.
mind sharing the range for this position? Beautiful. Now,
Beautiful.
after that part is done, let's say you get another interview and now you're talking with the hiring manager, maybe the second or the third. Here is when you're actually kind of supposed to, now you're allowed to say your number so they know.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm looking for around X. Notice the language. I'm looking for,
Oh.
polite, not I want, I need, I have to have, just I'm looking for. Okay.
Got it.
By the way, it should be you research salary, you figure out what you want, and here you say 8 to 15% higher than what you want.
Oh.
That's the formula.